most people come to Bitcoin the painful way, and I'm no exception. I witnessed what happened in Lebanon firsthand when the banking system completely wiped out the entire country's life savings. Okay,
Were
so if
you
you
were
had
you
some,
living there?
no, 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 you didn't have to live there, but if you had some money in a bank account, it was gone.
Hmm.
So essentially, what happened, regardless of the amount, whether you had 10,000 or 10 billion, the result was the same for both of you. You went to bed one night, you woke up the next day, nothing was working. So you go buy you're buying stuff, your credit cards, decline, decline, decline. What's going on? You call the bank, there's no answer. Nobody's picking up the phone. Then you wait a while, then you understand that all accounts are frozen, money's blocked, blah 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 blah. Nobody's allowed to withdraw their funds. Worse, if you had US dollars in a Lebanese bank account, they illegally converted it to the local currency, which was hyperinflated to some stupid amount. So if you had like $1 million US in a Lebanese bank account, now it's worth like, I don't know, $200 or something stupid like that. So when you see something like this happen and you understand that this is not a joke, and that this is going to continue happening. It's not because it's Lebanon that it's like a shithole. Okay, fine. People might argue this, but it had nothing to do with the country. It had to do with the fact that it's based on a corrupt fiat system, and ultimately, they're all going to fail. It's just a question of when your turn comes. So, folks that think that, because they're so rich, or maybe they live in a certain part of the world, that they're going to be okay, that's a very dangerous position to put yourself in. It's almost like you're like waiting for financial suicide, because no one is immune. If you're using fiat, they're all built the same way. They're all built to fail. And now we're at the end of that, of that cycle where the cracks are so big. Like, how are you going to repay the debt that's out there? It's impossible. And so the currency is going to continue to inflate. Inflation is going to continue to rise. Nothing's going to fix it. You can't fix it from, who said that? Jeff Booth. You cannot fix the system from within the system. It's impossible. It's like, if you want to understand nothing, just understand that line of his. You cannot fix this system from within the system. You have to replace it completely. And before Bitcoin, we had nothing to replace it with that couldn't be coerced or manipulated. There was nothing. This is why this is such a big deal. And the fact that it's a fixed, finite supply that no one, no matter what they try, can fuck around with, that's the key. And when people realize this, like it really clicks, that's when you're going to see like the tsunami of panic. And this is why all the big boys now are, doing whatever they can to get into the space. They're not coming in for charity, that's for sure. They understand as well that if they do nothing, their billions and trillions, they're going to be worth toilet paper, just like the folks in Lebanon, Venezuela, Argentina. They're no different. They get it. The difference is they have a team of 100 people studying this all day long. So they are way smarter than most folks, and they know exactly what they're doing. And if they're coming in, let me tell you, if you don't want to do your homework, just look at what they're doing. They're not doing it because they're retards and gambling on a maybe. They're doing it because they're 1,000,000% sure this is the way to go. So if you're sitting on the sidelines doing nothing, waiting to see maybe these crazy Bitcoiners theory comes true, in my opinion, you are going to have one of the worst lessons in your life coming your way, because I've lived it. It puts you in a very, very dark place. The stories in countries like Argentina, Lebanon, and that go through something like this, they're not told. They're hidden. The suicide rates are through the roof. Good people end up doing crazy, crazy things because they have to. The stories of folks going into banks with guns That happens. These were not criminals. These were moms and dads that went into the bank with a gun to retrieve their own money because they had a dying mother or father that they had medical bills to pay for. So, but the mainstream media, they automatically spotlighted them as criminals. So when you understand that everything in the current system is rigged, it's a lie, it's a criminal organization in full force, you start taking proper action. But until most people get impacted directly, I don't believe they will act. That's the problem. You have to get screwed yourself to understand, okay, shit, maybe now I have to do something. Bitcoiners around the world, us included, are trying to put you in a position where you don't have to go through the pain, but you just have to listen to common sense and take some sort of action. No one's telling you jump in blind 100%. But if you do nothing, you are guaranteed to lose everything. In the same way that those that thought they were billionaires, they were set for 10 generations. Now they're living on the street. Those that actually are still alive, not counting those that went and jumped off building roofs because they couldn't deal with with the reality of their new situation now. It's one thing if you're a young individual, you can somehow rebuild yourself. But if this shit happens to you when you're 60 or above, you're not rebuilding anything. And if you've got people depending on you, the psychological impact that it has on your mental health, like I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And you know